question I was asked.
Had some kind of a gauge.
For wages, so obviously I can't come to you. It would be this, then I take into, and then look at a gauge. This is where I believe, lieutenant should be at. Shared with them that last night also that, 5 lieutenants, all 5 to be on parity. But they wanted a explanation of how did we arrive at that 10% number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and I'm not sure that 10% is the number. Number one. Number two, when I came to y'all, I just used lieutenants at neighboring agencies in the county. That's how I came to the numbers that I asked for. However it was done in the past, I just don't know. But I think it's a little dangerous to only go with what our sergeants are making, right? Because now we're only comparing ourselves to ourselves, and we're not looking at outside agencies at that point.
Didn't say. That's
I know.
Just scenarios.
I know. I got you, but I just wanted, again, for the record.
Yeah. So we're obviously not there. I have a little bit of work I need to do. For getting IUPA.
Right.
Justification on the lieutenant side. So that's where we are. I mean, I think that we will come within a ballpark.
Okay.
I don't have a doubt we will come within a reasonable ballpark, but again, that I can't proceed with wages because the other group doesn't want to proceed with the wages until they receive their retirement numbers.
Right.
So we're at a hamstring there.
Yeah, I know that we did get in touch with Chad yesterday afternoon. He was out sick, so he was going to check with his partner Paula, and we should have an answer hopefully today as to where they are in the status of those.
Okay. Yeah, I was asked by the city attorney yesterday afternoon where we are with it, and I said we had made an agreement by, Wednesday morning. If we didn't have anything, then we would, have to pull it and push it off till the next meeting, and that's only because legally it can't go on the agenda without the cost impact that they have to know what that impact is.
The way I read that statute is it's got to be before the final reading. We have to have it, not the first reading. Now I understand that they're probably going to want it at the first reading. I get that, but statutorily, we don't need to have it until the final public hearing.
I will defer that to the city attorney.
Okay. I can get you a copy of the statute if you need it.
So, let's see, what else was it? Would it be possible, well, that's a pension question, so I'll talk to you as the pension guy at a later date.
Okay, that's fine. I can keep it separate.
Yeah.
I promise I can.
Well, we're on the record for PBA.
For PBA,
so.
right. I got you. No problem.
Yep. Other than that, I really want to proceed, Warren. I really do. I have something that has been given to us for retirement. I have something that has, a guideline for wages. I'm there. I'm just waiting on the other party.
Right.
I believe that we should be able to wrap this up, hopefully, with 2 more meetings.
Okay.
And I don't feel that it's productive for you, productive for us to have any other meetings until we can sit there and have those numbers, meet with IUPA, get a sense of where they want to go, and then I think we could get this home quickly. I can tell you that the council wants me to come back with more definitive items for the 2 police unions the end of August. So still having it all, I mean, it's the mindset, have all this wrapped up that we can take something to one of the 2 meetings in September without question.
Well, if we put off the first readings, we're gonna have issues with that. I think if we can't do it, because you're gonna miss the second meeting in August, right?
Correct.
So I don't know how we're gonna
We technically
get.
have 4 meetings in September.
Right, but how we're gonna get an agreement on the retirement side if it's not even, we don't even know if it's gonna be approved until a couple of days before the contract expires. Right? Because first readings, the first meeting in September, and second readings, the second meeting in September, you're at the end of the month, and we're trying to negotiate then between whatever that second date in September is and September 30, right? So it worries me if we push off at least the first reading until September with the pension stuff. That worries me. I understand, and I completely agree that we can't we can't have the second reading and enact it until we get it priced.
So I will tell you that I just did another bargaining unit or pension plan ordinance change, and it was approved last Tuesday night, but it was effective back in February when the MOU was signed. So it's not out of reason that council can't make something effective for a pension change October 1st still, even if it's...
Right, and I don't think with the line of duty death or the definition of compensation, I don't think we're gonna have any issues with those. It's just that both us and IUPA are still bargaining pension changes that we haven't even discussed, right?
We agree. Absolutely agree. I mean, we are, I was pretty clear to us last night what the direction was, sir. I need a number.
Right.
And I can sit here in my head and tell you what what the bundle was.
Right.
They don't want to see the bundle. They want the individual cost. And so it was very clear to us there is a pension improvement coming, period.
Right. That's great, but the numbers you get with all 6 changes are going to change if you select some or none of the above, right? Mm-hmm. So that bottom line number that they're getting isn't going to be consistent if they only say they pick 1, 3, and 5, but they don't pick 2, 4, and 6. It's going to have a different effect on the pension. So the individual line items, while I understand why they're important, they're not set in stone. So if the council says, hey, we have $40 to put in this, and it breaks down to where only 3 of the 5 making that $40 number, that $40 number is going to change.
I'm aware.
Okay.
I sat through that.
Okay. Are they aware of it, I guess, is my question.
Last year.
Yeah.
So, and until we see those numbers,
right,
I am at the final say of someone else.
I understand. Like, I get it, right?
But we are there.
I'm not going to put words in your mouth. Didn't. I know you didn't. But they don't want it as an they don't. But as I recall, the package, and it's the whole package.
I did not say yes, sir. Getting the 6 individual things was clear to the reason why, back and forth, and we had numerous conversations with Mr. Little and 1 or 2 email exchanges with you as well, trying to make sure that we were clear in what the ask was. And if there's any ambiguity on what the ask is of Mr. Little, and he hasn't completed this request for those items, then I would say the sooner the chair of the pension plan and Jared and I can sit down if need be and have a phone conversation with Mr. Little so we hit the target the first time.
Yeah, I don't think, and I was CC'd on those and didn't participate in those conversations, but I did see them. I think Mr. Little's pretty clear.
Okay.
I think he had some questions and they were addressed throughout that email string. So I think he's pretty clear. And I honestly, that's not the pension board's ask, so
understood.
I don't step in on that part of it. But 99% sure that Mr. Litt is very clear on what was asked for.
And if there, and again, I just don't want to go back and forth.
Right.
It's been now over 9 months.
Right.
That's why I just say if there's any clarification that needs, I'm more than happy to have that conversation, because again, I listen to administration, I listen to PBA, and I listen to IUPA, and if there's any mess there, I want to clarify it.
Right.
So I am willing and open, because I don't want anything to delay this any more than it already has, for whatever the reasons are.
I'll let you go on that one.
Yeah.
I'll let that one slide. But, okay. All right. I'm thinking that we should hopefully have the numbers very soon. I know that they have been working on them diligently. Like I said, Chad was out sick yesterday. I don't know what happened on Friday, but we were able to get in touch with him. And I know that Paula, his partner, has been working, and he was going to give us an update hopefully this morning. So I would not be surprised if my phone rings shortly.
No worries.
Yeah, pay wise, as long as we're on the same page, that just base dollar to dollar comparison to what the sergeants make base pay hourly and the lieutenants make base pay hourly is not a fair comparison, and I think we are on the same page on that, right? So, as long as the lieutenants' wages are competitive with the lieutenants in surrounding agencies, and whatever percentage or however you want to measure it higher than the sergeant, because I don't want anybody to promote and go through what I did. I know you said this at the IUPA meeting last time. I took a pay cut to get promoted, and it's hourly. Did I make more money? Yes, I did. But I lost a ton of money in the holidays and the built-in overtime and all that stuff. So I very much appreciated hearing you and IUPA say that, because when the chief gets a call from HR and says, hey, does he really want this because he's going to take a pay cut, that shouldn't ever happen. So, and you got me at a discount for 2 years, so it'd be nice to get even with the other lieutenants. So other than that, yeah, I know we can't talk numbers, but since it's a PBA thing, some of the stuff I'd like to talk about is the pension stuff, so you can see where we are. I know that there was some question about why we were wanting to raise the cap. That is something that the PBA we've actually proposed eliminating it. I know IUPA has moved it to a 120, I think is their ask. And I know there was some question as to whether or not people would get there. They absolutely will. Absolutely. And I have some numbers, but if that's not something you want to talk about on the record, we can wait.
No, sir.
Okay.
We are
just talking about wages.
Doesn't make it I don't feel that it is productive to talk about something without the numbers. I wouldn't be disagreeing with you.
Right.
It just wouldn't make sense.
Okay. Well, that one, okay, fair enough. Is there anything else then?
No, sir. I mean, I'm really not trying to put you off.
That's what it feels like.
I promise you. It just.
We've been, I came to the very first meeting with proposals, and we have addressed none of that as of yet. Nothing. Right? The only changes we asked for were pension changes and salary changes, and we have not talked about that since meeting number 1 back in March. It's been put off and put off and put off. And I get it, like I understand the position that we're in. But we shouldn't have had the first shade meeting the night before they're gonna set max millage. And for you to finally get direction and numbers and something you can offer that you can't even offer because you haven't talked to IUB yet. right? So I come and I ask for this meeting, and this meeting is on me, right? But I'm not saying it's stall tactics. I'm saying the way that this worked out this year, negotiations, is not good. And I hope it's not what we have to look forward to every year. You know, we came open and honest from meeting number one. This is what we need. This is why we need it. Here's the calculations that I did to get to the number where I'm at. This is what we want changes in. And oh, by the way, they're exactly in line with what IUPA wants changes in the pension, right? Because some of the things they asked for were tier one guys, which our other lieutenants already have, right? So now we didn't realize there was the 2022 issue, and I'll grant you that, when we came in March with the pension change stuff, right?
Or I am doing the best that I have the
Right, and this
authority
is not
to proceed with.
This is not Warren's mad at John, right? This is, the PBA is frustrated with what's going on in the city. That's what this is, right? There's no reason why the first time we should talk about pay is the very day that you have numbers to give back for pay, is the very day they're setting back millage. Like, there's no excuse for that. And that's not on you, I understand that, right? This isn't Warren's mad at John. We've been trying to negotiate since March and never had any response on any of the things we want to change. Haven't had a counter offer, not a single one. And that's a problem. You know? The city holds all the cards as it is. And to not even get to play a hand before max millage is set makes it pretty rough. And while I understand the position you're in, I gotta be honest, doesn't make these negotiations any more fair, in air quotes. So, that's really all I got.
Thank you.
All right, we're done?
Yes, sir.
All right. No, you have to shave first. And then, yeah.